Hey, pea sauce. Daikel here. Lard. It's commonly used as a cooking fat, but it should not be consumed solely by itself. A college student ate 3 quarts of lard on a singular evening. Here's what happened to his genitals. As a college student, Heisey wasn't out of the ordinary. Standing at a measly 5'5", he was on the shorter side, but nothing unusual. Since moving to campus just a few months prior, he had begun working out more consistently and began packing on some muscle. His physique, while slightly altered from that of his high school state, was still nothing to write home about.
That's quite big.
Over the course of the year, though, he began meeting more and more friends. Therefore, he started engaging more of the college social life. His drinking habits began to pick up, along with his gains from the gym. This resulted in him putting up a massive tolerance for alcohol, more so than at any point in his life before. He had gone to parties in high school, but rarely drank, and if he was, it was very light. Now he's drinking upward of 8 drinks a night on his nights out. The semester eventually concluded and began working out less as a result. When he eventually returned the next semester, his body had lost a significant amount of weight. When drinking another night, he pushed his body back to where it was before, but his body couldn't handle the alcohol. He blacked out. He woke up the next morning with a headache, eventually stumbling his way back to his dorm. He took some anti-nausea pills and focused on his homework for most of the day, fighting his headache and a weird feeling in his liver that began to start. Not wanting to lose any time, he persevered, but soon the pain in his side caught up with him and he passed out.
Fucker right in the pussy!
Only to be awoken in the ER. You see, the night he blacked out, he consumed a massive 3 quarts of lard as he was edged on by some of his friends. This caused his odd pain in the liver region the day after. The doctors prescribed him with some painkillers, and not realizing he ate the lard before they let him go. He went to bed that night with the liver pain still persisting. When he awoke the next morning, he could barely walk. His genital region was in excruciating pain, and when he looked at what was causing the pain, he was in awe. His genitalia had grown to the size of a subway foot long. He passed away later that day.
No, don't pull. No. Ah! Damn.
Now let's look at what actually happened. When ingested in such a high quantity, the body has no choice but to get rid of the excess lard. In response, the liver was forced to try to metabolize the lard by secreting the enzyme chlorokipsin jungalase. When produced in such high quantities, the liver was under such stress that it began to shut down. When producing a surplus of chlorokipsin jungalase, the liver is starved for ATP, as the production process is rarely used in the body and is extremely inefficient. This, coupled with the fact that he was already low on electrolytes from the night before, caused his system to overload. This is why he passed out the next day. With the liver shut down, a surplus of the toxin called calibotoxin began to build up. When in high quantities, the toxin tends to accumulate in the testicular organs of males. This led to the extreme inflammation of his genitalia and is what ultimately caused his death. The toxin inhibits the blood flow and slows it ultimately to a halt, which is lethal. With that, let this be a lesson that everyone can learn from. Never trust.
John Cena!